I
Let's
know
talk
like the
about this.
general themes about that, but like I'm trying to remember like
Okay, wait. So the first of all, just repeat what you said.
doesn't her
What is
lover
that?
get rabies?
So my first reaction to that was like, that sounds ridiculous, but also correct. I think he does.
Yeah, it doesn't sound off that it's about a lover who gets rabies.
Wait, now I
I
got
know that he gets some type of disease. I
that
don't know if it was
he goes
rabies.
mad, right? He gets like
Yeah,
angry, like
yeah.
that's what
I think he like gets rabies, and then he gets like rabid. And
yeah.
his name
Well
was
that's
like
what that's
Sweetness or something. Was he just a nice guy? I don't know if his name was Sweetness. What was his
yeah.
name?
Sweetness.
Yeah.
That's what I used to
He
call
had
you.
Wait,
Sweetness.
you see now I gotta look this up because I'm
he
not
has one of those names.
hold
It's
on.
I
about the
just
girls like so it's about the girls like trials and well trials and tribulations and
Yeah, I
like
know, but like
yeah,
destiny.
she's in like Florida, so there's like some racial
Virgil
tension
tea
there
cakes
also.
wood.
Yeah, tea
yeah.
cakes, like tea
TK.
cake sweetness, like For those who don't
Sweetness.
know,
Bringing it with the sweetness.
we're
Are
talking
you thinking
about Their Eyes Are Watching God,
are you thinking
the
of roll
novel.
bounce?
Roll Bounce, that's
Yeah.
Ti.
No, that's no, that's ATL. Roll bounce
Oh,
is with
ATL.
Bow Wow.
Wow, wow. Oh, the low budget
The
version of ATL.
well, no, because that
Low
roll bounce
budget.
was like centered around like skating, and it was like in the I think it was like
Yeah, but
centered around. It was based in like the 80s or like or
okay.
something,
Didn't
whereas
ATL
or the
also
70s.
have um
It had roller skating because I think they're both in the relate like they're both
they're both
centered
in
in the
Atlanta.
south. Yeah, they're both in the south, but like one's more modern. ATL was more like in the like late 90s, early 2000s. I'm
Mm,
pretty sure.
I don't
Whereas
remember.
yeah. All right, we back to this verification about this rabies thing. Hold on.
So
I'm looking.
while you look that up, Poorly Made episode 20, Big
Get
20.
bit by a rabid dog, yeah, and becomes jealous and unpredictable, and he tries
Mm,
to shoot her with his pistol. Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
I don't remember
Perfect.
that part, but yes, episode 20, Poorly Made. We're talking about Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston, a book
And
that
how
I
Mike
didn't think was that
hates
good.
black.
Mike
Oh,
hates black
Mike
women.
and Kavon hates black women.
Wow,
I
don't me in
preferred,
there.
I remember reading over a summer Maya Angelou's Wouldn't Take Nothing from My Journey Now. I love that
Mm,
book.
mm.
I don't remember what it's
Yes.
about exactly,
Yes,
but I
King.
remember loving that.
Yes, King.
Yes, King. And Toni Morris is beloved. That was way
Mm.
better reading that in college when I actually cared about the assignments.
Mike was like a minor in like feminist theory. Okay,
Oh yeah. We went
don't
back
feel
too.
confident.
We took it way back to like the Shakespearean times when they were talking about women having sex with frogs and ending up with two-headed babies. Shit like that.
You
Wait,
lost me
what?
on that one. That's a whole other episode. I don't know if we need to get
Yeah.
into that right now. Um, all right. So you
So,
guys want to talk about?
well, poorly made podcast.
Well, no, we did that. That moment is past now.
Yeah, that's
You guys want to talk about the coup, all right?
oh,
We,
I
I
don't really
mean,
want to talk about it. I feel like I have to make some kind of public statement about it because of how absurd both just shit is right now.
yeah.
But I'm gonna let the indifference of societies, and how it has functioned. I'm going to let you gentlemen speak first.
Well, no, Kamal, you can go because honestly, I'm just gonna react to whatever you guys say. I don't have much.
Okay.
I'm spent. So go off,
You
King.
just need some time to reflect, still.
Yeah.
Gather his
Just
thoughts.
give us one hot take, one super hot take, and then we'll go from there.
I don't have any hot takes. That's the thing, though. I feel like everything that needs to be said, like, has been said over the past week or so. Has it been a week already? No, it's been less than a week, right?
Time is a
Uh,
construct. It doesn't exist.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I think one thing is I don't know if you guys have seen it, but the Capitol officer, the black gentleman who is pictured in that scene basically of stopping people, he's got like his hand out, a mask on and stuff. People are
Yeah.
calling it like a hero image and calling him a hero.
Mm,
Um, because I don't know if it was him exactly or if it was probably not him. It was probably another officer who was saying that they were, dealing with not only these people storming the building, but like racist name calling and and
I'm sure that was a part of it. I mean, like you can't like they're Trump supporters, so you can't separate racism from
no,
their belief system. They're
nah. Well, and also
they go hand in hand.
the thing was
I mean,
that
according to the internet, you really can, but I'm not going to be the one to
oh
defend the
yeah,
internet.
yeah. There's good people. Yeah, now that they were
On
there,
both
we love
sides, on all
them.
sides.
Yeah, on all sides, exactly.
Yeah,
No, but the other thing was also that it was related to some people were saying like some of these cops like let them in and they weren't like they
yeah.
weren't
Just the like
attending to it.
the double
Um,
standard and yeah, the
yeah,
kind of
but that's the thing though. The officer said in the article about how the seeing the pictures of them just like rummaging through the Capitol and stuff doesn't give like justice to the idea that or to the fact that the
the
cops
madness.
the madness and that the cops had been battling these people for like 2 hours before that and it
Yeah.
doesn't do justice to the how prepared they were how some
Mhm.
of them were retired Air Force veterans and how they had the guy with the zip ties and they had homemade explosives and fucking all this shit and pipes and stuff. But I mean the cop that was killed, that picture of him laying face down, I mean that's our country right now. Like that's our country, whether you
Well, that's not the only. That's one thing. That's part of the country. That's unfortunately a larger, let's say, plurality minority than there should be, given that like you would like to think that human beings are more civilized and uh,
yeah, no
better.
matter what your belief is, they fucking
Yeah,
knocked him out with a fire extinguisher and then beat him to death. Like I
yeah,
mean that's just like animalistic, you
yeah.
know.
That's the thing. Is like yeah. So we'll go through like so what's the common things? Just the shock and just yeah, the shock and awe of like that it actually happened. Yet you're also not completely surprised. Um, the hypocrisy of it, the because I've been I'm not sure if I have said this on the podcast, but like my common belief that like oftentimes conservatives or like yeah conservatives Trump supporters don't really stand for anything. They just have like if their feelings are hurt, they'll just react in that direction,
That's
and
the
they're
wrong thing. Yeah.
like so like they like the whole like the hypocrisy's been brought up about Blue Lives Matter and things like that, and
Mhm.
how all of them like quickly rallied against and started attacking and pushing against law enforcement. I think even people were carrying Blue Lives Matter or the Thin Blue Line flags while they were like pushing off, like fighting on and like beating on
Hmm.
officers trying to like protect the barrier. I just find that funny. I mean, well, not
Well,
funny, but like in the saddest way. But
I
you
saw an
gotta,
interesting thing about how like there were people say are there that were presenting their badges, like people who worked in any kind of law enforcement across the country, and showing it to them and saying, we're doing this for you, etc.
yeah,
Um,
because all right, so all right, so this might be my hot take about it. So
Yes, this is
I
this is
have
what I wanted to hear.
so I have
Okay,
I so I
let's ruffle some feathers.
so what's the thing? So and everyone says this, and it's true because I mean, it's just the nature of law enforcement. Everyone has family or friends that
Mhm.
have some involvement in law enforcement. Um, but my belief is there are a few categories of people who go into that field of law enforcement,
Mhm.
and
Power hungry.
and yeah, and that's when it's like while there are great people who do have truly have a sense of civic duty That's one group of people. People who um, view people who join the military. People view the police force as a an access to uh, good paying job with benefits and a strong pension and protection from a strong union. Those kind of people who use it as a job opportunity. And and I'm sure there's some other archetypes, but there are also law enforcement do draw really shitty people who have um, terrible lust for a power and authority and bullying,
Hmm.
who are poorly temperamented, but like have yet decide to join a job where temperament and patience and um,
Just like a strong sense of judgment and moral character.
yeah, just good
Like
strong
the
judgment
forefront.
are required, and also
Hmm.
a sense of self-sacrifice and duty. Those are all required, yet they possess none of it. There is a certain type of person who joins that and like military fields, along with the others that we've mentioned.
Hmm.
And so it's not a huge surprise that like fellow people from other law enforcement departments or agencies or people who or former militia people who closely align themselves with believing they are part of the entity of American law enforcement sympathize that we share these beliefs. There's not like there's a big Venn diagram and these circles are almost just one big circle. There are like numerous circles, but they almost one circle that they all share very similar beliefs that they like these law enforcement agents also happen to be Trump supporters, happen to be conservative, also happen to be uh, quite racist and oh crap, my I'll
Hmm.
be back. My laptop is about to die. I'll be back.
Okay.
Be back.
I'll chime in real quick because
Yeah.
it kind of made me think of something. So, we talk about Trump supporters and the type of people that are Trump supporters, and a lot of them are ex-military or they're policemen and different things like that. I also saw a picture earlier today of I guess nuns for Trump,
Mm.
and there's a lot of like conservative Christian black people for Trump, and like the point I'm getting at is that we see all these different types of people that can really hyper focus on one particular aspect that's really important to them and their cause, and totally ignore every other aspect of what Donald Trump is and what he represents, no matter even if it impacts them negatively. But they just feel so strongly about this one aspect, or maybe a handful of aspects, that just overshadows everything else. And that's the part that kind of scares me a little bit with these people. It's that, to me, it's like a total lack of self awareness, in the sense that, speaking like for the black people that support Trump, like or like Lil Wayne and other rappers that like have kind of blindly supported Donald Trump for their own personal gain, but like don't realize I have to say it because I'm a Kanye fan, Kanye West, for also, supporting Donald Trump and not acknowledging the harm that he's done to other groups, other people specifically that look like us, right? And it's always, from what I've seen, to better them, put them in a better position in some way or another. And at some point you got to ask yourself, like, okay, these cops, they like, do they really think, the ones that are carrying those thin blue line flags, when they go out there and they bash through the doors of the Capitol, do they really think that this is better for cops? Like, is it worth it to attack these cops so that maybe Donald Trump will be president still and make cop lives better? I don't know. Like what exactly is that thing
Listen,
that
But
they're
that's
fighting for, or this is their
so
common
that
goal?
was the thing I was gonna just mention before, that like it's also, I have seen the stuff about the hypocrisy when it comes to the Blue Lives Matter being associated with these folks that were Trump supporters and storming the Capitol, but actually, um, the Blue Lives Matter flag really arose out of an anti-black sentiment, not
Yeah.
necessarily pro-police.
Mhm.
So it almost makes
It's
more
the same
sense.
as the
Yeah.
Confederate flag, like the
But
same.
Right.
yeah, but they go hand in hand. They go
I
hand in
don't
hand.
think they
It's
go
like,
perfectly in hand though, just because these violent like anti-right or far right groups are more associated with like anti-government um mores and like
but that's the
uh,
thing. They're like the
not every
hypocrisy.
like the not every police officer who uses that Blue Lives Matter flag would beat up a cop, you know what I mean? But like
Oh
I'm not
no,
trying to like make it, you know, I'm not trying to like excuse it. I'm just saying I think those people were more just they more associate that flag even almost like in the wrong way. Like in the reason why we tell people like not to use that flag because it was a reaction to the Black Lives Matter movement.
yeah, but like that's the thing. It's funny because like the video I sent you guys, the guy mentioned a good point about n- and like a lack of awareness, cognitive dissonance, um almost a hatred of like introspection
Introspection, yeah, yeah,
of oneself. So
and
like the
not
idea that like they can that these exist, these like conflicting principles or beliefs can
Mhm.
coexist within each other, within like the same people, is not surprising because like I've said before, um lack of uh lack of shame, lack of true principles, um poorly educated, uh lack of critical thinking, and also the idea of, I don't know if it's a narcissism, but like I've also seen this idea that they seem to be the heart, the to hold the real truth, that like I don't know if you see, I don't know, like if you go through a bunch of videos of seeing like Trump supporters on rallies and or discussing politics,
Mhm.
they always, for one thing, they always talk about they've done the research. They
Mhm.
always tell others to do the research. They never really explain what research they've done, or like
Mhm.
where they get their research from, or like
It
how did
actually,
they.
I laughed this hard because it reminded me of the Borat, the new Borat movie.
I
I
still
don't know
haven't
if
seen
you,
that. I actually
I don't
got
know if you
to.
guys, yeah, it's like you would
I have a
probably,
chair. I have a chair. Kings in a castle.
in a part of the movie, he lives with two pro-Trump uh, guys, you know, white men from the South, and they are like basically teaching him their ways,
Mhm.
and it leads up to them going to a Trump rally and all this other stuff. But it was just the conviction at which these guys spoke, about Hillary Clinton drinking the blood of babies, which Kamal probably agrees with, but like, other just like ridiculous,
Nah, don't.
things that they really believe, like they strongly believe and they know it to be true. And you can't tell them any
Yeah,
different.
but that's a good thing though that you mentioned that because that video that Kamal is talking about where the guy is connecting all this to 1984 the novel. um he's talking about how um and this came up in another tweet that was sent to me, that these people don't actually they they don't actually believe it to be true, the things that they say. So like when they say that, it was really Antifa that was storming the Capitol, they don't really believe that that's true. They just they believe that as truth. Like they know it didn't actually happen, but they believe that to be the truth. Um and it was in another tweet that was sent to me, somebody who grew up to basically they were comparing their neighbor to somebody who would have stormed the Capitol, and how every time they met at the fence in their backyard, he would say, oh, Obama really wasn't born here, he's born in Kenya. and how one time she was just like, "You don't really believe that, do you?" Like, and she does, and he didn't know how to respond because, like, I mean, what that video was talking about is the idea of, like Kamal said, um not really holding thought and introspection as things that you should do, but rather you should be a state, you should be an actor for the state, you should be an actor, someone who is who does things, not just pontificates and thinks about things. Um and I'm
Yeah,
rambling now, but
that, but yeah, no, but that's, and that goes to like how like this air of like anti-intellectualism that's like
that's the other thing
risen.
you said, and you said not highly educated, but some of these people, they're lawyers, they're ex-military people. I mean, they can't not be educated. They just
I
it's
mean,
psychology. It's psychology,
I
like
mean, position and like actual
double
like
speak.
intelligence are two different things. There are a lot of um, dumb people in high positions throughout
Yeah, I
all
mean,
of
it only
society.
takes one. Like you just have to get one through, and then they reach the top, and they just pull up all their homies up to the top with them. And like, if they all have the same belief system, like, yeah, I'll give you a law degree. Like, yeah, you can help, pass the bar, or like be a dentist, or
Yeah,
whatever.
But like,
Like,
but like,
listen,
like the idea
dentist
that like
does a
like
great job.
like Trump
imagine
was
a
able to,
racist dentist.
but also the idea like Trump was able to become president.
Right.
George Bush was able to become president. Like also money and resources and connections are a big factor in how you get into position also. But like, all right, so one thing I thought of when I knew we were going to discuss this that came to my mind was the media reaction, like the general, not like right wing conservative, but like the general like outrage from the media. And the like, one thing, they love it because they love this, even though they probably uh, uh they are like against, they are shocked by this and appalled
Mhm.
by it. They do love the sensationalism of it because
Oh, it's great
new,
TV. It's
news
great
is
for
all about
ratings.
that ratings. But
Hmm.
also, one thing I realized is that um, a reason why this story and like this event is so shocking for a lot of people, a lot of media, and I feel that like, I don't know, I'll just stick to black folks. I can't speak to others. That like, while we were also surprised, but we're
Oh,
not really, is
right.
because I think the media has helped reinforce, and for like a lot of white America, or like let's say liberal white America,
Hmm.
has constructed this idea that this country is better than it actually is.
Hmm.
So like this fairy tale that that America is some great bastion where like things like this couldn't happen. That like, oh,
Right. That we're
that
actually better than this, but like
yeah, that
I
like,
haven't thought that in a while. Like, and like, I'm
Yeah,
glad you
we've
brought
known
that
this
up.
all along.
because like,
I'm all like, I'm really glad you said that because it didn't even come to mind. But like, Mike, you can attest to this because I've been sending Mike videos because like I've seen Mike's reaction to this and it's been a strong reaction, and I get where he's coming from completely. But like, I'm so not there. Like, and I've been
yeah,
sending Mike videos of like what other black folks that I follow
Talking
have been
down.
saying. Yeah, and like, dude, like we've been here before. They've burned our cities down. Like every time we
Oh
build something
yeah.
up, they've come in and knocked our windows down already. Like they've been
yeah.
killing us. Like, and like it's just so it's frustrating for me actually to see, white people that are like, oh, this is not who we are as a country. We're better than this. And I'm just like,
Exactly.
since when? Like, I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. There's no manga going on here today.
It's okay.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
It might have still been recording. I don't know if you guys were talking during
Nah,
that bit.
I think it stopped
Okay. Okay.
when Mike goes. All right, so just finish your point, and then you can cut it together.
I
Mm,
mean, I was hot, and then I just got upset, like about the internet.
ah,
No, so
I
you
got
were,
myself worked up in my passionate speech about
and
white
you,
people being upset.
yeah,
Um,
your anger ruined interfered with the broadband,
yeah,
and
I was just emitting so much energy. It just like fried the system. Basically, what I was saying is that the black people that I follow on social media are all like, yeah, we've been trying to tell you this is what they do, whenever
for
something
years.
don't like it happens, like
yeah,
if
like
they
this,
don't want black people advancing and becoming economically, independent, they burn it down. If they don't want, LGBTQ plus people to have rights, they go attack them and kill them in the streets. Like if they don't want Joe Biden to be president, they go and attack like the Capitol. This is what they do. And
yeah,
it's not the whole country. Like I get that it's not everyone in, the major cities, because like that's where I feel like we get lost in the fact that these major cities are pretty liberal and they probably would never imagine that happening. But like the
yeah,
majority,
There were people at that from like 5 minutes away from me.
yeah. And
yeah,
it's just like we don't see these people often and maybe we don't interact with them, but they're here. And it's
yeah,
like it's just
yeah.
ridiculous to have
But
this.
that's the thing, though. It's not like they're a minority, but like they've been here, and like that. The spirit of those kind of people has always been a
Yeah.
part of this country's fabric, right?
Mm.
Like,
Um,
where do you think your Dylan Roofs come from? Like these people, like all these radical people that burn down mosques or shoot up churches. Like, where do you think they come from?
yeah, like
Like, there's
in
more of them.
like past that, like back to slavery. Where do you think all this 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 weird this hatred, this bigotry, there's also this weird complex of supremacy yet victimhood. That's a big part of it. Is that they somehow um what's the word co-opted this the victimhood mentality that they like this idea like well I guess
Ordained.
well I guess I understand it because we're in this country that's just baked in economic and political inequity, right? And like the richer are just keep getting richer, the poor keep getting fucked over, and like that includes like a lot of poor white people, a lot of white people who feel disempowered by the system because they get affected by it too. Maybe
Mhm.
not to in the same ways or the degrees that other people have, but like if you're not rich and powerful, if you're not part of the elite class, you will get you will get fucked over by them unless you somehow obtain that level of power.
Mm.
Um, but I just find it it's different the way some people like approach it. Like if we're being real about it, like black people don't do this, and like we probably of any demographic group, and we can go into like yes, not a Pressure Olympics, but like we don't like I don't know what's the reason behind it, but we seem to like really take it on the chin and like um
You might say that black people were
are the most
almost.
patriotic. No,
Well,
I
no, that's
feel
what I was gonna say. I was gonna
oh
say that black people have almost been conditioned over several hundred years to take punishment and not necessarily
and
fight back all the time.
yeah. And so like we would never have the yeah, we would never have the I don't know, maybe the gall or yes also we've talked about the hypocrisy of the violence things like that. We know
Mhm.
the type of like the the aftermath, the clapback that would occur if we try to
Mhm.
enact the type of angry, passionate, uh, violent uprising that we've noticed from them. Um, Back to like we were talking about the idea of like this is not us, this is not who we truly are. I was thinking like I'm not sure anybody ever mentioned not mentioned it or like described in this way. but like in my head, it kind of feels like this subtle racism that this type of the outrage or surrounding this is because like we view America as like the civilized, utopic, highly principled, glorious nation of good and righteousness, and like then we hear about like other nations that have like coups and uprising and stuff like that, and like
Mhm.
and like we also there's a like a xenophobia to it. There's like an otherism to it. It's like, oh yeah, that's what they do. Those guys,
Oh yeah, yeah.
they have coups, they have
This doesn't
uprising,
happen. They said it on
they
CNN. They were like, this is the lady was outside the Capitol. She was like, I'm not standing in, I can't remember what the cities were, but definitely like one was like a Middle Eastern city or
yeah.
something.
I'm not
Fallujah.
surprised.
She might have said like Fallujah or something. Like,
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's like because it's a hint of like supremacy and like
Mhm.
whitewashing of American history that there's this subtle like racism not underlining this this shock and appall
I mean, it's all built on that. And as a white man, like I can't really speak to what you guys are talking to, but I can approach it just from the the aspects of history and what's gone on. And just right away, like one thing that I noticed was that they're talking about this was a sort of insurrection, and comparable to the last time was at the War of 1812 during that time.
Mhm.
And it came to my mind like, yeah, technically was the last time that the capital was overtaken, but something I had read about before was really how this relates to the Wilmington massacre, and during the reconstruction period,
Mhm.
when there was a basically, like you said, like co-opting of new black leaders in the community, and it was like 1890 something, I think, after the Civil War, and trying to make a government framework that involved African American, and basically white supremacists came in and burned it down,
Yeah.
and got ousted people and killed them. And I honestly, I would compare what happened on Wednesday to something like that, because even though it's people, I think they're likening it to you know, attack on, or it is an attack on American democracy. Those Congress people, those senators, they represent different areas of this country that those white supremacists don't agree with, who know that are taking over power again. Um,
Right.
but like but in part like part of it is still just like the general corruption of our system like because like they went there to overthrow the government because of like a sense of um
They felt the election was stolen.
stolen. They felt like they were attacked, that they were constantly their favorite expression to say they're protecting their freedoms that are trying to be stolen. um it's just funny because like that was going on while they were counting the votes for Biden. They were counting the electoral votes for Biden after Georgia was won by Democrats, the senatorial seats. And man, I don't know.
I
I
just,
don't know
for me, it's just, I agree with you guys, what you guys are saying, that, you know, because of the media explosion of this, it's become a problem for white people. And, that's why we're seeing all these big companies withdraw funding or withdraw campaign donation, which, first of all, why were they making campaign
Donations.
donations to Josh Hawley? He's a scumbag, but
because that's because our
that's what
country
keeps them
because
in power.
yeah, our government's been corrupt from the beginning. It's always
Right.
been corporate. Like
I just
forgot. Yeah, there's always been that game. And all right, so speaking on the corporatism, so
Here we go. Here we
in light of
go.
this
sit
That
back.
Obama
insurrection,
talk.
no,
That
not
Oh
of
Obama
Obama,
talk.
yeah.
not Obama talk, not now, because like I think he's aside from like one statement, he's generally stayed quiet. Um, so in light of this like this coup insurrection,
Like
this
he should
uprising,
be.
Stay in your corner, Obama. No one wants to hear from you.
Go on a hike in Maui or wherever the fuck you live.
So
And yeah,
in light of this, Trump has been, aside from like the calls for impeachment and removal and stuff like that, Trump has been banned from like or suspended from most major social media and like I don't know entertainment company resources mediums. I know he's been banned from everything from Facebook to
Pinterest.
Spotify to
Banned from
Pinterest,
TikTok before he could ban
uh,
TikTok.
TikTok. I think it was also Shopify. He was
Yeah.
banned from. So like for one thing,
GoFundMe.
yeah. So for one thing, this is once again this feels like the Black Lives Matter thing all over again. In part, I'm gonna get that out there real quick. It
Wait, you
feels like
lost
these.
me. I didn't think
It
that's where you were going with this.
it feels like the corporations who are like who hopped on the
Oh, okay.
Black Lives
Hopping on
Matter move.
whatever's hot. Okay.
So now they're hopping on the, oh wait, Trump is really bad. Yeah, he was always been bad.
Mhm.
You probably should have been calling out against him this entire time. But like, yeah, now it's trendy and cool. And Twitter
Mhm.
like opened the floodgates by banning him. So yeah, now your Spotify's and your Pinterest can condemn him also because it's
Right.
convenient now because there's a groundswell of support. So um so yeah, so how do you guys feel about him being banned from all these uh sites
Late.
and apps and
4 years too late.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like at this point, the guy's gonna be out of office in what, a week and a half, something like that.
Couldn't come
supposed to
Um,
fast
be
enough.
supposed to be
2 weeks, something like that.
9 days? Nine,
Yeah,
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 it's
yeah,
the
yeah.
20th.
9 days. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, this is all. I mean, and I get, wanting to set the precedence of um, what, impeaching a president or using the 25th Amendment, whatever they're trying to do. But I'm like, the damage has been done, guys. Like, I get it. I get wanting to have the optics, maybe, but like, if we let this happen again,
Well,
like,
I'm
Well,
sure have you
just
guys seen the
yeah, there's been
FBI has
talks
pushed
about it going to be happening on them trying to do it. Something's
all 50
sparking
state capitals
yeah,
and
on that inauguration day, right?
right, yeah, from the
Well,
17th to the 20th.
for one thing, I feel like this new administration would be the most foolish, arrogant, and self-serving if they decide to do a public like inauguration.
He's doing it. He said it
That's
today.
that's insane.
I think it's yeah, I think it's ridiculous too.
I
And
get
he's
I
doing it
get I
right
get
now.
the
He's still planning to do it at the Capitol.
I get the idea of like not what's the thing we do not
Backing down.
backing down negotiating, but you do realize that like you're basically sparking this creating an opportunity for mass chaos and panic and stuff like that. And like
oh,
Yeah.
he's
because okay, so I honestly wasn't following what you guys were saying. So you're concerned about the retaliation if they do the inauguration with like the Trump supporters coming back because like
We're
there's
not
talks of
just
them doing that.
concerned. The FBI has confirmed it that there are plans
Well, yeah, they're gonna.
online that they're
yeah,
going to
I
protest
would
and
I would
riot
be
probably.
insanely shocked if there wasn't any type of protest and things like that. And especially like we know how crazy these people are. I wouldn't
Mhm.
be surprised if like there were if you told me someone was trying to make an attempt on Biden, I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, they tried to make an attempt on Pence,
Yeah, no,
and he's
they
their
went.
own
Yeah,
party.
they went. Yeah, because he's not Trump, so they
Right.
only their allegiances to him. So like the whole idea is like you're begging for a situation. So now you're putting a situation where like police have to put themselves in the line of fire. Then like
Mhm.
you're calling because then like most people who are like political activists who are the antifas, the I don't know, just the anti crazy people who are not going to stand for racist insurgent I don't know patriots coming to run through the streets. they're obviously going to come out to try to counter protest. That's going to lead to mass mayhem and things like that. Just just have a freaking first thing. This inauguration ceremony is solely ceremonial.
Mhm.
Mm.
It's pretty clear at this point that like there's like you're just asking for trouble. So I don't
Did you
know.
guys get your offer for a ceremony, signed ceremony virtual ticket from Mr. Biden? Because I did.
Oh
I
no.
didn't.
Wait, as like from his like campaign, like an email campaign.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm just
Oh well,
joking.
that's
It was an email saying if you donate, you can get a signed
oh well,
ceremony ticket.
that's part of it because I'm now his email list. So,
Mhm.
Yeah, well, that makes a lot of sense.
but like, but like, all right, so we think it was too late. I think we
I just
all
want to throw out if maybe make this like the last thing because we're like a little long and I want to talk about something else because I hate this topic. Just maybe like one more thing about it and then we just
Yeah,
go.
all
finish.
right. Wait. So then I have a side. Okay, so I've heard a lot of stuff online about people actually having an issue with the bans because they're calling it a heavy. They're calling it censorship by big tech and social media, and
Bullshit.
they think it's I think they're calling it like a violation of free speech and things of that nature.
That's
Um,
government related, not
and I
private
guess
companies.
yeah. So I mean, but that goes into a bigger question that's been going on in the last I'll say 10 years now. At this point, it's um like do we believe that social media um private companies like massive social media companies still have the right to to ban who they want, or do we believe that they become too so big that they become um almost a a public square entity that has to be kept free and open and protected under the
They
First Amendment?
they have specific rules, okay, that they follow. Twitter posted exactly why they took down Trump's account. It was literally because they used the exact words that he said. I don't have them like in memory, but like they used the exact words that he said in those last few tweets as took them as a could be interpreted as an incitation as violent to commit violence. Just and also even just basic things as calling them patriots could be taken as okay, this is the president, he's calling you patriots, so that means what he's supporting that you're doing is he thinks it makes you a patriot, so that means he's supporting violence. So I don't think it's censorship, not even aside from the fact that Twitter can't censor anybody. They own the company. Like it's a not a government entity. They can ban whoever they want for any reason really, but they have specific reasons, and that was why, because
Well,
he's
I
incited, his language could be interpreted and believed to be, incitation of violence, if that's a word. I don't know if incitation is a word.
No, it doesn't
but not we
sound
get
right.
it. Incitement.
Incitement of violence,
Incitement.
yeah.
Yeah, but like I completely agree.
Incitation.
I agree. But the counter to it has been that these social media companies have been so large that by limiting that, for one, they do not have a a even-handed blanket hand of discipline when it comes to speech, that they
Well,
kind
they
of
don't. I mean, he
they
should have been
limit,
banned a long time
well,
ago.
not just to Trump, but the
Mhm.
idea that like these tech companies limit um certain types of speech, and they go after
Right. They know
conservatives,
who they
or
don't
they
Definitely
go
like.
after
targeted. I
or
get that. I get
leftists
that
and
critique.
certain political beliefs or political leanings and political statements are that they censor those things. And do we believe that that should not be allowed, given how big and far-reaching these social media companies are?
The
And
last thing I just would say about it is that also anybody who says that Trump is censored because he's banned from Twitter or the other social media,
It's
outlets,
crazy.
bullshit, because he has his own website. He has his own government website where he can post whatever he wants them to say, so that he could use the proper channels.
Or
So
as the president of the United States, he could just call like
he
a
literally has the
conference.
power to
Just like
text everybody in the country. Like, fuck you, he's censored. Like, no, that's bullshit. Sorry.
Uh,
So what was the thing that you had, Kavan?
yeah.
no, I don't know. I just wanted to not talk about this anymore.
Um,
This guy played us.
No, I mean, you guys. I thought you guys wanted to talk about Star Wars. No.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
wait, do we want to talk it after just the first three movies, or we want to start this now, or
Well, let's
Mm.
give us the update and let's give us the thing that
Oh,
Mike wanted to
right,
mention.
I forgot. I'm sorry.
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, we can get into it at more in depth at later point. But my funny thing was, so I watched Return of the Jedi, and there was one part that I was just watching. I was sitting there like, okay, I get this. Like, why is this like $1 billion franchise or whatever? But like, it just didn't make sense to me. So like, there's the part where, uh, and correct me if I'm wrong. So Luke is coming. Um, he's he's um he's basically en route to, to confront Darth Vader, and Darth Vader's talking to the Emperor about, oh, he's like, he's on, he's coming to fight me or whatever. um and the Emperor is just like, everything. Oh, and they're talking about him coming to the dark side, and all this. And then the emperor is like, this is exactly as I foretold it, or whatever, like exactly as I foresaw this happening. And in my mind I was like, wait a minute, you foresaw them fucking up your Death Star the first time? The first time? Why would you foresee that? Why wouldn't you just, if you could foresee things, why wouldn't you just change it and be like, yeah, he doesn't fuck up the Death Star, and we brought him to the dark side in the first fucking movie? Like, oh, you foresaw it? Yeah, sure. That's like saying after the fact, like you're outside, you have an ice cream cone, you drop it, and you're like, I foretold that. Like, well, if you foretold that, you could have changed it then. Like, you could have saved the ice cream cone. Like,
I
why
think
use that example? But
I think he was referring to the idea that he was going to be like drawn to the need to save his father, and that like he would capitalize on that that urge to save his father and to defeat the
it
um
was, but yeah, I know, I
and
get
capitalize on
that.
his more passionate, his negative emotions in
Right.
order to bring him over. I don't think he foresaw. I don't think he meant
But
that.
he says, I foresaw this. Why would you foresee something where you're in failure? But it was
This
also,
is
this
why
is like,
Mike can't watch like
I
anything
can't.
that's
I just,
not Star
whenever that
Wars.
guy speaks, I'm like, oh yeah, you foretold it. Yeah. Well, did you foretell that he's gonna kill Darth Vader? Like, a spoiler alert. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it was just more of his like, how well, I mean, if you wanted to say like how Trumpian he says it, like how, like, pompous, like, oh yeah, I foretold this. Oh yeah, you foretold this. Okay, did you see in your future getting impeached? Like, no, you didn't. But you're just saying I foretold it.
Well,
That
he
was
is
my that was my thing.
he's the emperor of the galaxy, so he's
Oh, and Princess Leia, uh what I don't understand. So everybody else is normal. There's these like weird things with like three heads and stuff, but Princess Leia, she's barely wearing any clothes in the beginning. Like, what's that all about?
because they
You
know
see her
where it's
ass
at.
cheeks. You see her
They
ass
know where
cheeks.
it's.
Like,
Mike, it's the same reason we could see the nipples in
I had a
in that
feeling. I
in
had
that
a
other one.
feeling.
How
I
else
was
are we
like,
gonna get you engaged if there's not a little show?
I was like,
Yeah,
what's the big guy's name?
Jabba the Hutt.
Job. Yeah, what is he doing with her? Like, that he's dressed like she's
He
dressed.
ob he obviously appreciates the
Feminine form.
female.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure he does. His
the
eyes are half opened all the time. How can he see anything?
that doesn't mean you can't produce a little chub when you see half naked
A
Princess
little
Leia.
chub.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, that really is disgusting thinking
That is
about
a
that.
horrible image, and I'm upset with you right now.
And also, just as the
She was
last
a
thing
sex
from
slave.
me, like, they kissed. They were brother and sister.
They
Does
didn't
anybody
realize
talk
that.
about this?
So
Yeah,
that was
brother.
how they
Yeah,
were gonna get the South involved in the Star Wars shows. They're like, oh, little brother sister action. Now you see, this is all.
We wanted to
See, you
make
got to
out with
get
her too if she was our sister.
right. This is why it's such a big deal because it
yes.
just pulls from so many different backgrounds.
But yes,
So many
yes,
plot
Mike,
holes.
as someone who is 50 years late to the party on the discussion on Star Wars, yes, it's been readily discussed the fact that like brother and sister Luke and Leia, spoiler alerts, that they kiss in the second film.
But
Mhm.
it's not like a romantic kiss. I don't remember it exactly. It's isn't it like a peck on the face?
Eh,
They didn't feel the vibe. They were like, oh, this ain't it.
they
On to
weren't,
the
yeah,
next
they
one.
weren't vibing too much. And also
Right.
she was leaning toward Han and everything, so like,
Well, and
you know,
it's unclear like how old she is and how old Luke is and when they kiss. Like Luke looks like he's probably like 16 when she kisses her.
they're so
Aren't they a couple of
it's
years
not
apart?
they're actually
No,
the same age.
they're twins. Yeah, actually, yeah, they're twins
Yeah,
separated at birth.
Now
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
yeah,
that's what.
twins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're twins. Yes,
They're
yes.
they're
just
the
No,
same age.
I was
they're just
thinking of
stringing
Anakin
plot
and
lines.
I was thinking of
Huh?
Anakin and what's Anakin's baby
Padme.
mom's Padme. Padme's older than Anakin, which is something like totally didn't connect to me when I was younger. I was like, oh, he's
Yeah,
like pulling a little older woman there.
Mm.
He's
yeah.
not old, but like they're a couple years.
And what's with all these times? Like he could totally like when they get strung up by the Wookiees. Oh my god, the Wookiees are so cute and amazing.
You mean
Um
wait, not the Wookiees. You mean
no, the guys that they save the Wookiees saved them from.
uh
Uh
oh my god. You see now I forgot the name of them.
oh
They're
no
not the
it's
little
Wookiees.
bears. No, the little bears. Oh my god. You're gonna make me
Oh yeah, what are they called?
What
I
are you
feel
talking
bad.
about, Mike? The like 8 foot bear creatures, or are you talking
No,
about the
no,
little
Yeah,
cute bear
little guys
creatures?
in the forest.
Ah,
yeah.
okay. Who was
Oh my
getting
god.
strung up by who?
So
No.
so Luke and them get caught by the animals in the forest,
Hmm.
and they're like strung up on a spit, and like Luke's
Hmm.
like he makes 3PO
Ewoks. Okay, thank
Ewoks,
you.
yeah, Ewoks.
Yeah.
He makes 3PO like do this
Small bear-like creatures. Oh, word.
bear like creatures. He makes 3PO do this like funny thing where he's like they're like basically bowing down to 3PO, and he's like
Mhm.
tell them that if you don't let me go you're gonna be use your magic or whatever. And
Mhm.
he could have just used the force the whole time. Like I don't understand. You've got a lightsaber, like what you're oh yeah, tell the robot to say this to them. Like you could just
But they're also supposed to be like innocent like creatures, so I don't think he wanted to like violently like put
they
them
had
down.
him spinning on a spit.
I
Nah,
don't know. But they were
I
also
just thought
they
it
were
was funny at different
they were
times when he could have used the force.
yeah, there's
One of the
always
major keys of being a Jedi is practicing restraint. Okay, you don't just use
yeah.
the Force all willy-nilly like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
You're
there's no
telling me they're
story.
twins and she can't use Leia can't use the force too? What is this sexism?
Well, technically, everyone has the Force.
Well,
Well, yeah,
the force is a
The Force is
living
just
thing
it's just
that consumes.
stronger within certain people. It depends on your
Yeah.
midichlorian count. Okay,
Wait,
you
he
get a
don't
high
know about that
midichlorian count.
yet. He doesn't know
All right,
about
we'll
that
get
yet.
there. We'll get there.
He doesn't know about
Oh,
that.
that's second trilogy. Okay.
That's the second trilogy.
my head's spinning.
But yeah, so now you gotta go in and watch the prequels, Phantom Menace, uh, Clone Wars, and Return
Yeah,
and Revenge
yeah.
of the Sith.
My other thing,
Those
where do these gigantic ships, where do they stop for gas? Huh? Where do they get their energy from? Like, dude,
um
what do they use?
they have fueling. I'm sure they have fueling station. They have like hubs. They have space fueling stations or planets.
Yeah,
Planets usually have tons of fuel and stuff like that, so they go to
yeah, I guess.
yeah. So this is good. You're now up to the year 2000, Mike. Now
I'm committed. I'm committed.
you
Wait,
you
they didn't make the next three movies until the 2000s?
yeah, you don't
Oh
remember
my
those
god.
you don't remember that those times, the hype behind the Phantom Menace when that first came out? Crazy, bro.
Nah. I was too
Oh
focused
man.
on like 9/11 as a white male. Nah, I'm just kidding.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Phantom Menace came out in 2000, so 9/11 hadn't happened yet.
That's true. That's true. That was a
Yeah.
terrible.
Mike saw 9/11 coming.
Yeah, I foretold that. This is exactly according to my plan. Oh yeah, your plan is to kill 3,000 people. You sound like you don't actually have a plan. Fuck you, Emperor, and I would have flicked him on the forehead.
Oh, you don't you wouldn't want to mess with him. Now you have to see
Oh, and
the.
his funny little move, like I love that.
Oh, the first version of that is in the third film. The original, the original third film. Well, episode 3.
Yeah, I was like, why is he making this so complicated?
It's complicated, man.
It is
So
complicated.
Why is that
Wait,
movement so complicated? Just go like
real
this.
quick.
Why do you have to go like this? Like,
You have to add a little sauce to it, a little
yeah,
steez.
yeah, he doesn't have the
There's a little
sauce.
flavor on it.
He's got the juice.
I just wanted to ask, and I guess this is more for Kamal because Mike, I guess you're not fully ready to answer yet. Like, is this something that we want more trilogies to keep coming? Like, you know the fandom better than I do, Kamal. Like, do people want this to keep going, like another trilogy, like 5 years from now?
of this franchise,
Yeah, Star Wars.
well, the fandom will always take more content. I think the more like if you like you love the IP. I
Mhm.
think a lot more. If I'm being honest, a lot more
You guys,
critical.
wait,
Like
hold on. Sorry, just a call back to a previous episode. Like, Mike
oh
didn't know what IP was.
the IP.
You still don't know? You don't
I
remember
don't,
it?
I don't know what that is.
Intellectual property, Mike. Come on, we did a whole riff where we just came up with things that IP could possibly stand
The
for.
IP stood for, yeah.
this
That might have been
is one of my this is
a
one of my
little bit
favorite
soft
bits
for
that
that
we've
one.
done.
For any new viewers, go back to we'll link
Whatever
the
episode
episode
that was.
whatever episode it was in the but the fandom loves the property, and the lore is so big, the universe is so big, there's so many like cool stories and characters and things they could do. So like they'll always want more, but like it's been poorly like more critical fans of like the actual storytelling and like the characters, um I'm sure are reluctant about like Disney
Mm,
handling this property going forward because it hasn't
right.
been done well. It's
I
made
think I
money,
want
but it
yeah.
hasn't been done well.
I think I want to see more. I think as like I just recently got into the Star Wars universe basically this year. I had seen bits and pieces of the second trilogy when they first came out, and then when the last trilogy came out, I saw I maybe one of those in theaters, something like that. But I during quarantine, I went through and watched the whole thing. I'm now watching Mandalorian, and I'm watching videos on YouTube about just like the history and the lore and like the background of the characters, and like I'm invested now. So like I would like to see, especially I don't want to spoil Mandalorian, but especially with the developments of Mandalorian, like I would like to see a fourth trilogy about where like maybe they bring in some of those characters like from the shows that are coming out. Like it would just be cool to kind of see that in a new, fresh light. Like the different the different Star Wars kind of limited run series that they're doing with like the Bad Batch and the one with the guy from what's that Hispanic guy that's getting his own series from
Hispanic
like one of
guy.
the it's a
What
Hispanic
is
guy
that?
who
That's something you can Google.
no no
Hispanic.
there was a it wasn't Solo. What was those like the movies that came out on the side, not Solo. I can't remember the name of it, but like there was a Hispanic guy. I think he's in Y Tu Mama También, the Spanish movie. The Spanish
Uh,
actors.
I don't know what you're referring to at all. He's
Anyway,
in
there's a
he's in
new
one of the new series.
yes, he's the lead of the new series. And
Diego
he's in his he,
Bernal, Diego Luna.
Diego Luna. He's the Mexican actor, and like he's the lead of the new series. So what I was getting at was that it's just like a nice diverse cast,
Yeah,
or diverse actors, and it's just nice to see. So like I would like to see that happen with another trilogy.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
for one, they need to leave. They need to leave the Skywalker characters alone because they've killed that and it's dead and should be left alone.
Mm.
I think they do plan on what they plan to do is make these all these new shows. I don't know why they decided to do 10. That seems excessive. But they plan on trying to make it in a like collective like universe
Right. Yeah.
still, which I think is cool. Um, it's all about doing it well. Like there's so much like content and like history they can like take from, and just stuff they could create just because of like just because like the universe they have is so vast and like open to interpretation. So like
Mhm.
it just has to be done well.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
that goes for anything, like the Marvel
Yeah.
stuff that's happening, but I would
Don't
like to
make
see
me.
how it goes down. Don't make any more. You're done.
I'm not even
Don't
keep up here.
don't give Mike more to watch.
Yeah.
No, what he needs to do, he needs to watch these last you have 6 more movies to watch, Mike.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Everyone I see, I'm just like, yeah, we know you foretold this. Like, yeah, use your
Wait,
powers, blah blah blah.
wait.
Yep, the Jedi never never reveals himself or whatever. The Jedi doesn't bend to the will of his aggression. Yeah, we get it. It's another type of space animal, inexplicably, just here, like using light speed motorcycles or whatever they were on.
Mike, they're not animals, okay? They're just different civilians of whatever planet they're on at the time. Okay?
Yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah,
They're not
have
lesser beings.
they
but they
matter just as
still,
much.
they
All
still
lives matter
bow
in the
down to
Star Wars universe.
3PO. Yeah, all lives
Mhm.
matter, exactly. Yeah, storm the Capitol.
On that note,
Yeah, I feel like it's a great place to end.
No,
I
that's
don't think we
terrible. Don't quote
need.
that.
Nope, it's over now. Bye.